Hey, I'm Thomas. Welcome back to Pilot's Workshop. This is the final episode of our small series about the file handle. In this video we are finally finishing up the handle and we are beginning by making the tip. Like before, this began by facing a piece of aluminium rod. And then I pre-drilled the center and made the through hole. Then it was time to define the outside. A quick chamfer with a file. And then I could make the thread on the outside of the part. Then it was time to shape the inside. First by drilling it to the according diameter. And then by countersinking the bottom of the hole, giving it the same 90-degree angle as the ring piece and the two clutch pieces that I yet have to finish. The next step was to shape the outside curve of the tip. And since I wanted to do that with a file, I first took a parting tool and cleared up some of the space to give me some room to work. I made sure to leave a 6mm pinion in the front so that I could hold the piece in the step that would follow after this one, but that you will see later. First came the shaping of the part. This happened with a bench file. The exact shape of the outside curve is not so important, as long as it's pleasing to the eye. What followed was some quick cleaning up with 120 grit sandpaper and a round over with a needle file. Then the piece was ready for parting off and could be brought over to the watchmaker's lathe. And here it becomes clear why I needed to leave the 6mm pinion. The machine works with 8mm collet chucks and 6mm is the biggest diameter they can hold. Also visible in this shot is the parting ring. It has 60 holes to be locked in any of those positions. For the knurling at the tip of the file holder I wanted 30 ridges, so I locked the machine at every second hole at a time. And then began the shaping of the knurl. You can see that I'm using a lathe cutting tool put vertical into the tool holder to scrape small shavings off from the part at every pass to shape the knurl. The top slat I put to a slight angle, again all by the eye, to make sure that the knurling pattern fits well into the curve of the piece. And after every pass I rotate the machine by another 2 holes on the parting tool. And after every full rotation, it was time to increase the depth of cut by just a tiny fraction and do everything all over. And after some time, it started looking more like this. And after I was happy with the looks of it, it was done. Again, everything by the eye. Then it was time to change for a parting tool and take off that pinion. However, I didn't cut all the way through so that I wouldn't by accident damage the piece that I just spent so much time on. Instead, I decided to take off that last bit of material by hand, just to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Then all it needed was a quick chamfer and the piece was done. Then came the first assembly to see how everything fits together. If you remember, the two chuck pieces are not finished at this point. You can still see them as they came from the lathe. That is because I wanted to see how the gap between the tip and the main part of the handle closes when you screw everything together. This gap is way too big, so it was back to the lathe to shorten it a bit. Here I was very careful not to take too much off at once, because once this piece is too short, I have to make it all over. Then it was test fitted again. And this time everything fit nicely. So everything left to do now is to finish the two clutch pieces. First, I fired the little nick at one side. The only good reason for that is that you later can keep both halves aligned, so the clutch grabs better. Then the piece had to be cut in half so that you actually have two clutch pieces. At last, a quick touch with 60 grit sandpaper takes care of most of the saw marks. And then it was time for the final assembly. And so it was done. It works as I hoped, it sits nicely in my hand, and it will take part in many projects to come. And if you make more than one, you can even share it with your friends. If you like this project, then subscribe to my channel if you want to see more in the future. I have plenty of stuff coming up. You can check out my channel for more videos. And if you're interested in doing this project yourself, you can download the plans on my website. The link for that is in the description below. This is Pilot's Workshop. Thank you for watching.